You don't even know why you know them, right? You're newer.
This change, you switch in terms of you don't oversee all of
You
them.
know,
You have to-
so it takes
Okay.
a long time to instill that.
It does.
And like my
Okay, we will get this budget hearing started. This is the budget for the Downtown Committee of Syracuse. I'm Councilor Green. I'm joined by Councilor Hogan, Councilor Schultz, Councilor Peniagua, Councilor Bonto, Councilor Allen, and America, will turn it over to you.
Great, thank you. Good morning. My name is Marika Trier. I'm the Executive Director of the Downtown Committee of Syracuse. So the Downtown Committee, we're a not-for-profit organization whose mission is downtown revitalization. So I've distributed a handout for you to go through sort of the narrative of what it is that the Downtown Committee provides for the downtown district, then I can go through the financial aspect of it. We provide services to an 82-block district, which is also the central business district. We are governed by a 15-member board of directors, all of who are appointed by the mayor. We've got 2 board members here today. We have Melissa Zell and Ruth Leongron and Alberto Bianchetti joining us today from our board. Our board of directors, 11 of the 15 have to be downtown special assessment payers, which is very helpful because it is our board who is making the recommendation to the mayor for what the special assessment budget should be. So similar to Kraus Marshall, our board will put together a budget committee. We'll go through a recommendation that'll be adopted at our January board meeting, and then we make that recommendation to the mayor. If they agree, that number is included as part of the city budget, and then we participate in these hearings. And then once the budget is approved, we'll be back in front of you for another administrative item to execute our annual contract to be able to draw down on those services based on what we have presented to you today. So we have several primary areas in which we work. Our environmental maintenance program is probably one of our most visible. Our goal with this is to ensure downtown is attractive, accessible, and clean. We do litter patrol, streetscape maintenance, so we'll power wash sidewalks, help clean up empty doorways, remove graffiti on public spaces. In the winter months, we'll assist property owners with their responsibility of plowing the sidewalks. We'll mow lawns, we'll trim hedges, we'll get involved with street furniture repair, as well as tree pruning and tree planting. So we work very closely with many departments in the city of Syracuse. And so when we have different streetscape improvements that we're planning, we'll make sure to coordinate with whether it's the Parks Department or DPW or the city arborist to see how we can make our dollars go further. For example, sometimes the arborist may have money for tree pruning but doesn't have money for tree removal. So we'll try to coordinate our resources to have an impact there. We also get involved in beautification initiatives. So one of our most notable programs is the Hanging Flower Baskets program. So every day, the Tuesday and Wednesday after Memorial Day, we will have 355 hanging flower baskets installed throughout the downtown district. We do flower plantings in specific areas. We will purchase planters and then fill them with materials and maintain them for the season. We'll go after grant funds to do things like mural refurbishments. We've received grant funds to do some public space improvements like chess tables in Hanover Square. And then we go after different funding sources to do things like the cafe lighting you see in Bank Alley, or you see in City Park Place between the State Tower building and the City Hall Commons atrium. We also have a downtown security force, so our goal is to proactively address constituent needs and quality of life concerns to maintain a safe downtown neighborhood. We hire retired law enforcement officers who patrol downtown. They are armed. They work Monday through Friday. Essentially, we have 2 different shifts. They always work in pairs for officer safety purposes. So about 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., and then the evening shift is 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. Sometimes they'll work later, depending on if there's a larger show at like the Red House, the Landmark. We also do enter into a services agreement with the Syracuse Industrial Development Agency to provide additional coverage on the weekends, both environmental maintenance as well as security. So our security officers on the weekend primarily work that 10 to 6, 11 to 5 daytime realm, but then the City of Syracuse Police Department has an entertainment district where they provide patrols on Friday and Saturday nights from about 11 p.m. to 3 a.m.
So, America, so the IDA
is that the funding for your security people?
It's for additional security, so not
Just
part of the
for your
Yes.
people or
Yep.
the police department's
Nope,
people?
not the
Okay.
police department.
Okay.
For the downtown committee, we have a 423 HELP phone number that anyone in the district can call with a quality of life concern. We do personal safety seminars for new businesses or existing businesses that have any kind of questions about safety or security in the district. We patrol downtown. We work closely with the social service providers, so oftentimes our outdoor maintenance or security officers will see someone maybe that's new to the community, or maybe sleeping outside or in need of assistance, so we'll reach out to either the rescue mission or someone like Liberty Resources to make that connection to try and get services there to assist the individual. On page 7, touch on our economic development department. So our goal with our economic development activities is to address opportunities to further development and growth throughout downtown by providing resources and expertise. So one of our most valuable tools is our downtown database of properties, and we check in with property owners and real estate agents so we understand what space is available where have there been tenant movements, what is the going rent, what are some of the amenities, and then we use that information to help inform development projects, or we're often a first stop for people looking to move a business into the downtown district, so we serve as a matchmaker by understanding how much space is available where, who manages that space, who can they contact, why might this location be preferred over another location, just to help the business be as successful as possible. We analyze a lot of the different real estate market trends. So we, in addition to the commercial, office space, and retail, we also do collect information on the downtown housing market so that we can help advise on what trends we're seeing, absorption rates, amenities that are included, again, to help these projects be as successful as possible. We have a searchable database on our website, so someone can go in and enter how much space they're looking for, and it'll spit out properties that would meet that need. But we also do put together customized property packages for individuals, so we can tell them, if they're looking for 5,000 square feet of space for this type of business, we can give them a list of spaces that may meet their needs, and then they can contact the real estate agent, or we can help to do that for them. We can help advise with technical assistance, so identifying different grant incentives, how to use the different financing sources that are available, and reminding developers of when grant deadlines are coming up and what grant opportunities they may be eligible for. So I mentioned on slide 8, we have several web-based resources which include the ability to find a property. We do information and statistics. I mentioned those property packages, gives you kind of a sample of what those look like. But then we also do a host of downtown data reports. So pictured here, we do twice a year a commercial occupancy report to report out on the health of the downtown commercial office market, so the occupancy and average rents, any major tenant movements, so people understand what's happening in the district. And then we've also started to release a downtown Syracuse development forecast. So we'll put a piece together that talks about all of the announced and upcoming development projects you're going to be seeing within the central business district. We have retention and recruitment resources, so we produce brochures that list all of the housing opportunities available in downtown. We have a downtown retail wish list, so we can identify what types of services are missing in the district, but there's demand for. And then we also use our social media. So we've added this new Property of the Week feature to draw attention to available office spaces or retail spaces across social media. People can share that, and we give a sales pitch there about why you'd want to locate your business at this particular location. Slide 11, for marketing and communications, our goal is to promote downtown Syracuse as a vibrant destination. That's for people that work here, for people that live here, and also for visitors. Our main interface is our website, downtownsyracuse.com, which provides access to downtown events, downtown businesses, information about the different downtown neighborhoods. Slide number 13, we do a weekly newsletter. So we've got more than 10,000 subscribers who receive our weekly news and events newsletter, which packages all of the events and announcements that have happened for the district. And we also are nearing 28,000 followers across our social media platforms. So we're very active on social media, sharing information, in general, the good information that's happening in downtown Syracuse. We also are involved with downtown marketing, so we do business directory brochures, we have housing guides, we buy ads in the visitor guide, we have a parking brochure, we do commercials, so we're getting underway now with a new advertising campaign which will start to air in the new year after July 1st. And then we also get involved with earned media. So that's slide number 15. So these are non-paid visibility opportunities for downtown. So it's when we put out a press release on an item of interest, get news coverage to help us share information on whether it's about dining weeks or the Arts and Crafts Festival or about new businesses moving in. And then in addition to those programs, we have what we call signature events. So there's a lot of events that happen throughout the Central Business District. Many of them are organized by their own entity, but the Downtown Committee also has a handful of events that we produce and put together to benefit our downtown constituents. So we have our Downtown Dining Weeks, which took place this past year, the first 2 weeks of March. 53 restaurants participate. It brings in about 35 to 40,000 people over that 2-week period to enjoy downtown. It gets a lot of visibility. We had over 25 earned media stories associated with that event, so a lot of reminders about downtown in the news. Coming up on April 20th, we have our Spring Progress Breakfast event. So this is a 1-hour program where we highlight a specific facet of downtown redevelopment and bring the speakers that are actually making these projects happen or these initiatives happen to come in and give us sort of a behind-the-scenes sneak peek at what goes into making this happen. We do still have some tickets available, so if you would be interested in attending, please let me know, and I can connect you with Christine. Coming up this Saturday, we have our annual Earth Day cleanup, which we now have to cap at 250 volunteers. But this is a really popular event. People love to pitch in and help do something tangible to improve their community. So this is a way for us to get people engaged with downtown Syracuse. We have an annual meeting that will happen in June. So this meeting will give a state of downtown report and package all of the exciting things happening in the community. And then we also do a series of awards to recognize people or projects that have contributed to downtown's growth. Starting the second Tuesday in June will be the 51st season of our Downtown Farmers Market happening in Clinton Square. The past couple years have been really tough for the farmers market with people working remotely with the hybrid work model. We no longer have that 29,000 built-in employee base that comes to the farmers market. Plus there's a lot of other farmers markets that have sprung up around the area, and then combine that with couple years of road construction that was happening around the market. It was really challenging for our farmers. So we are one of 11 farmers markets in New York State to be awarded funds through a new New York Ag and Markets program. So we have $40,000 in grant funds that we're going to be able to direct into marketing that the farmers market is taking place every Tuesday in Clinton Square. We're going to do a Meet the Farmers feature. We're hiring a part-time market liaison to help us make sure that we have vendors there every week. So we're investing a lot of resources to try to build up the market so our farmers know that they're appreciated, that this is a valued program, that people in the downtown community want to be able to see this.
This is where you were bringing the music, right?
Yep, and we do, so I feel like I heard in my office, I think we got some funding from CNY Arts, who supports us through grant funding to be able to bring in live music. So we have a lunchtime live music series that happens from like 11:30 to 1:30 on market days.
Where do you encourage people to park that are coming, that aren't working downtown but coming in?
Yep, so we have, working with the city, we have dedicated street parking along Clinton Street on farmers market days to allow for that. But then we also push people to nearby parking on typically Water Street, or there's parking kitty corner from us as well.
Okay.
In July, we run the Syracuse Arts and Crafts Festival, which takes place in the Columbus Circle area. This is the largest festival after Taste of Syracuse and brings a number of people into the downtown district. And we do children's programming and family activities. And then we also do holiday programs. So slide number 22 and 23 touch on this. We do partner with the city to do holiday decorations. So we have lighted wreaths that are installed on many of the north-south streets in downtown. And then we also will have lighted trees throughout the Armory Square district, which will help to brighten those evenings. We have a large star that we place in Hanover Square, sort of as a selfie moment for people. We do a storefront decorating contest called our Window Wonderland Walking Tour. So we encourage businesses to decorate their storefronts in a holiday theme. We had over 40 businesses participate this past year, and we run a contest. So that encourages people to walk and move throughout the downtown district because they're seeing something interesting happening within these storefront windows.
What do they win?
They win bragging rights, but then they also win a small cash prize. So first place will, and our foundation supports that activity. So they'll earn $500 for first place, $250 for second, $100 for third.
And then they get media and marketing.
They get media attention, yeah, but we do it all over social media. So, but bragging rights seems to be a big one.
They really got into it this year.
It makes such a big
It's a great
difference, too.
idea.
Yeah. That's something too where we can leverage our partnerships and our relationships to be able to have businesses and property owners manage what they can manage within their own properties, and then we can help to address the public space and the overall marketing and promotion activities that go into that. We also, on slide 23, some just snippets. That's a snapshot of our Instagram feed. So this year we did a downtown Syracuse holiday guide, which was on our website, so it allowed people to understand shopping options, how to sign up for skating time in Clinton Square, what they could do downtown. But then we also did 30 days of social. So we created 30-second Instagram videos, all geared around the holidays, that we put on our social media feeds to encourage people to shop. And then we also made it so each of the businesses featured would be able to have that to add to their own Instagram feed to take and kind of give them a video without having them to put administrative time into creating it. So 24, I just gave you some highlights from this past year. So some of the new things we did this year is we added a Property of the Week feature to our social media, which has been a really highly engaging social media post. So once a week we feature availability of real estate in downtown Syracuse. We created a How Can We Help You brochure for downtown businesses, and we're in the process right now of creating one for downtown employers, because what we're seeing is several new large-scale companies are moving into the downtown district, and there's services that we're able to offer, such as kind of lunch and learn sessions, employee welcome bags, things like that, to help familiarize their employees with the district. So we're now creating one to help employers be aware of all that they can take advantage of throughout downtown. We created a guide to promoting your business, and we've been doing presentations at the neighborhood business meetings to tell folks how they can use the media, both earned media, but then also social media, to their advantage and what it takes to get engagement. Then I mentioned we've started up our employee welcome bag, so soliciting coupons and specials and incentives for employees that are moving into the district.
Are these workshops free for the people?
All free. Yep. As far as engagement, we we refreshed our website, and then we also made it accessible, so anyone is now able to use it. So there's things like, if you're colorblind, there's different toggles you can turn on. There's automated descriptions that can be put on if you're visually impaired, just so you understand what is being shown on the screen. And then we've also started to do social media contests and giveaways, and so we're doing that to increase engagement with our social media platform, because we view that as a way to broaden the audience for who could actually receive information about what's happening in downtown. As far as programming, new this past year, we did events support. So you may recall the Syracuse Festivals Fund that was voted upon. So we administered those dollars and supported 22 events that happened throughout the city of Syracuse. And then I mentioned our Farmers Market Resiliency Grant. We've put a lot of time and planning and effort into how we're going to roll out and support our farmers market this year so we can increase attendance. And then as far as planning, we're implementing the results of our downtown business owner demographic survey. So we did a survey to understand representation across our storefront businesses, and then using that, understanding how we can enhance or change or add to our programs to encourage broader representation. We're starting now with the Armory Square group to do some neighborhood visioning. So a lot of the business groups kind of ebb and flow based on people's desire to volunteer. we get about 30 to 35 people that participate regularly in our Armory Square neighborhood meetings, which is a great turnout. So about 2 weeks ago, we hosted our first visioning session to help us as a group come together with how do we as the Armory Square District want to be known, what do we want the outside people to see, what do we want our neighborhood to be known for, and then how are we going to implement that.
America, has there been a survey about post-pandemic effect on downtown as far as office space, as far as people going back to work, like not only with the commercial properties, but I would think the public buildings too, including this one?
Yeah, we have
Because
not.
obviously that affects downtown businesses as a whole, especially the people that's been on a lunch break or something.
Yep, so we're underway right now with our commercial occupancy report for what happened this past fall. So as part of that update, so we know how much space is leased, as in paid for, but people actually occupying that space is something different. And so as we're doing the follow-ups, we're having our economic development team check in to get a sense of, what is your return to the office? What does your work model look like?
And what about the restaurants? Have you polled them? I mean, I know it's like Ocho Cinco,
Yeah.
Sort of closed up.
Yeah, they, Ocho Cinco, and we're kind of reaching out to understand, they took some time to redo and revamp their menu. And I don't know how that was received, and so it sounds like now they're taking some time to revamp their menu and offerings again.
Yeah, I still think we're, feeling our way as far as what kind of impact that was. And you mentioned the hybrid model. I wonder how many businesses use the hybrid model, and what does that mean to each business as far as what days people are here. I know in other cities are talking about Thursdays have become the new Fridays. And and I know the mayor, like Washington, D.C., has told her people who work at City Hall they have to come to work.
Yep.
Because that's part of adding to the tax base a little
Yeah, we're
bit.
seeing, the hybrid model is pretty popular. We're seeing, what we're hearing, and I'd love for our board members, obviously, to weigh in as well, but 2 to 3 days preferred in office, at Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. A lot of what we're focusing on right now is creating a reason for why you'd want to come in to downtown, and those different activities there to help other people picture themselves in downtown and create that vibrant work environment. But I don't know if Melissa or
I know, I think it'd be like it's almost two different divisions. I mean, it's a division where commercial people are looking for, obviously, they're in competition with other people, and hybrid might be an advantage as far as offering that to some people they have. But as far as the people that are anchored here, like City Hall, the State Office Building, maybe even National Grid, folks who are anchored here, it'd be interesting to see what their attitude is on as far as hybrid and people coming back to work.
Yeah.
I mean, physically. Why don't you come right up here?
First, I'll speak to Pioneer. We're in the real estate business, so we do not allow hybrid work. It's just as simple as that. That's, it's kind of like City Hall, I mean, we see it that way,
Yes,
That's
we
how
do.
we see it. Like, we're, this is our business. We have, downtown office buildings. If we're not coming back to work, then why would anybody else come back to work? I do have several tenants who, it seems like the law firms have come back more so than others, especially those who need access to the courthouse and to, different, document storage and things like that. But even the law firms in all of our buildings, even them, there's some form of hybrid that still takes place. I know that tech companies have struggled probably more so than anyone because they've got like 20 to 30-year-olds who are really digging their feet in about not coming back to the office, and almost like no matter what they do, they're trying everything to entice people back, and it's really not working. So that's something that I think is slowly starting to change, and now they were trying for the Monday through Friday. I think a lot of them have given up, and now they're really aiming for, 2 days a week, 3 days a week. But it will be interesting to see how that evolves, and I think it's going to take more time to evolve too. to see if, like, over time, if that set of people, I mean, what I keep on thinking is the next downturn, who gets laid off, the people that are in the office or the people that are remote, and who gets promoted over time, the people who are in the office or the people that are remote. And I think people will come to realize that a certain amount of face time is probably best for their career trajectory. I mean, I know that's what I tell my 20-somethings. But it's still a struggle downtown, and even though, to your point, we have a lot of lease space, and I think the downtown committee is making a huge effort to say, okay, let's not just talk about occupancy, let's talk about within these big spaces that people are still paying rent on, what sort of occupancy do they really have, because that really speaks to when their leases turn over, what's going to happen. So.
America, you mentioned 29,000 employee base. Is that before the pandemic or is that current? So do we know what that number is now, or you're still?
We're probably at 45-50% back.
Yeah,
it depends. I mean, it's like they choose.
That's the number
days.
we use. In most of our buildings, it feels like 45 to 50% of the actual occupants are there. And the best way to do it is like to check the parking situation, you know, like at 500 Plum, or even, you know, like kind of see what the parking lots look like. So.
And so one of the waves we're riding right now is a trend for office employers that are choosing to move into the downtown location from some suburban location. So Fuss Charles Chambers is one that's moving into Merchants Commons. Advanced Media had downsized, so they took over some of that space there. Huntington Ingalls had moved in about a month ago. CX Tech will be here this summer. So we're putting an effort on promoting why you would choose a downtown location, the quality of life, and having those testimonials out there from the employers.
Let me ask you this: if a business is having a special event of any kind, whatever that may be, I'll tell you what it is. The other day, Fioridella had a special event. It went very well. I think went very well. I was there for a little while, and there was such a mix of people. It was wonderful to see. But I was wondering if, and I failed to ask her if the owners of these stores,
Monica?
Exactly.
Yep.
Do they have? Do they have access to the newsletter to put their stuff?
Oh yes.
Their events there, and maybe you can. I mean, they have their own social media, but can they use yours too? I mean, and the
So that's-
calendar. Are all
That
those
is what
things
we-
available to everyone?
Yes, it is. So for the businesses, we encourage the businesses, if they're having some type of special, to send us an email at mail@downtownsyracuse.com, and it gets scheduled in for the different newsletters. But then our team also spends a lot of time kind of combing the social media or newsletters that we might receive, just to make sure we're scheduling in. So I know with Floridella, we do quite a bit of the promotion. But our goal is to, showcase all the different events happening in downtown to give our businesses the visibility.
Okay.
Yep. So I'll jump ahead to slide number 25. So I kind of covered what we do. That one's better. Oh, this one's better.
It's way better.
Okay, I'll come over here.
I don't have to work so hard.
Thank you. And then I'll talk about how we're funded. So slide number, this is much better. Thank you.
Yes.
Slide number 25, our primary sources of revenue are the special assessment, which is based on a number of factors. So the special assessment, just because there is more development happening in downtown Syracuse, does not mean that we are automatically seeing an increase to our budget. So the special assessment is a set number line that then gets allocated among the properties based on a variety of factors, including their zone location in downtown, their linear frontage, and their assessed value, as well as their for-profit or their not-for-profit status. We also bring in revenue through events and transportation. So those signature events I went through, any surpluses from like sponsorships or ticket sales, that goes into supporting primarily our marketing and communications programs. And then we enter into different service agreements. So whether it's security or environmental maintenance or some landscaping, that's how we fund our activities.
How do you make money on the transportation?
We have a couple of parking lots that we lease and manage. So two of those parking lots, National Grid has been an incredible partner. We operate the lot across from the Dinosaur Barbecue, as well as like another overflow lot for after daytime hours, so essentially 4 to 5 p.m. through the evening and then on weekends to support parking for nearby businesses. And then we also have some permit parking just north of the Post Standard that we manage.
Got it.
Slide 26 is, this really looked better on a screen, not shrunk down here, but it gives you a sense of our overall activities as far as our total program budget. So about 70% of our revenue comes from the special assessment, with the other 30% coming from alternate sources. But how it's broken out is about into our administrative function, environmental maintenance, security. So page 27 is specific to the downtown special assessment. So those are the funds that are in front of you. It shows you by program activity how we've allocated those funds. So about 31% of our downtown special assessment is allocated towards environmental maintenance activities, 25% towards economic development, 22% goes towards security, 16% for administration, 4% towards marketing. And then we always factor in for a non-payment rate, so we don't want to presume 100% collection. Slide 28 talks about some of the return on investment that the Downtown Committee brings. And so what we're sharing is that for every dollar of downtown special assessment funds invested into us, we generate an additional 40 cents on that dollar, and how far that dollar goes in impacting our community. So I talked about some additional programs that are supported outside of the special assessment, so that those hanging flower baskets, the beautification programs, the events that we offer, our service agreements with security and maintenance, and then I mentioned grants. So we are a 6-time recipient of New York Main Street grant funds. So with those 6 grants, we've invested almost $1.5 million in grant dollars into downtown Syracuse properties that has leveraged $55 million of investment in the downtown central business district. We're a pass-through entity for those grants, and then we award things like facade improvements, commercial build-out, affordable housing development. We also provide support to the city's Neighborhood and Business Development Department, and so our support has generated more than $17 million in grant funds that have come into the city of Syracuse by partnering on some of these grant applications. And then we also support like the Parks Department or others with amenity support, such as like the chess tables or planters or new park signage. In addition to those tangible items, we also engage constituents within the downtown community. So we provide staff support to the Armory Square Association, the Hanover Square Association, our Southern Downtown Neighborhood Group. We have more than 50 companies that are involved as part of our Downtown Enthusiast Sponsor Program. So these are companies that support us financially by coming to our events and also contributing to our other beautification programs. And then we engage volunteers through things like our Earth Day cleanup. And then we also have become more involved with our residents. So there's a TNT for every neighborhood. We participate in the TNT meetings. We administer the Downtown Syracuse Residents Facebook page to make sure that they can get information about what's happening, or if they have questions about something, we can get them answers. And then we also do a Live Like a Local campaign. So every year we feature a handful of downtown residents and ask them to tell the public what is their favorite place to go, favorite hangout, what do they enjoy most about being down here, because who better to sell it than the people that live here. And then so overall, for our budget, we put a focus this year on prioritizing staff retention and development, providing a safe and secure downtown. And you'll see, similar to Krause Marshall, we had some market-driven changes within our security program, cleanliness and beautification, as well as marketing. So like many others, we are also subjected to the impact of rising labor costs and just rising costs in general for the different events and programs that we offer. We have been looking into additional, to help generate more revenue outside of the special assessment, we've been looking into fee-for-service opportunities, as well as trying to sponsor out as many of our elements of our programs as we possibly can to do more fundraising for the downtown area. On page 223 is sort of our overall budget. What you'll see from the authorized to the projected column, but then moving into the proposed column, our projected column, what we had been doing previously, you'll see the projected column looks a little bit different than the authorized column. As we were reviewing our budget with our committee, we had been generally overstating what had been going into the administration, because all of the rent was put there, all of the insurance was put there, all of my time was put there. But in reality, those are costs that are allocated to all of the different programs, because time is spent on all those different programs. So to to end the year, we included those allocations, so which is why those projected columns look a little bit different than what had initially been allocated. And then you'll see we're using that same approach moving forward for the proposed budget. Would you like me to walk through each program line, or if there were specific questions, I could? Okay. I would be happy to answer them.
Did you disperse all the funds from the festival grant last year?
We have $9,800 and change left that we're working to find a suitable applicant for.
Thank you for doing that.
Yeah.
That was a heavy lift, but Councilor Hogan and I were just talking how important those festivals, I mean, they're paramount to this, keeping this city active, you know, with
Definitely.
organized events.
Yeah.
Especially in light of the, the times, we go back, not as far as I go back with some of the other people, but, downtown committee I worked with for years, and I remember when we used to come down here and there was nobody here.
Yep.
Nobody here. We did the symphony from the old Jefferson Clinton building, and it was all burned out before it was renovated, so.
It makes it so much easier to be able to point to the diversity of this city with those events happening
Yep.
all spring and summer long.
Absolutely.
Which is important as well.
Yeah,
Are
those
we going to have a new round for those $9,000?
We are, so the current contract is supposed to, well, the way the Common Council ordinance was written is to fund activities happening May 2022 through May of 2023. It has to go to, it's a one-time grant to a C3 or C4. So we've reached out to an entity that we will be hosting some small business support event festivals happening in May to see if they do have any needs. If not, we may need to extend it.
I mean, some of these little festivals, Juneteenth, the Northside Festival, I mean, they don't have fund balances when they're done. They
Right.
barely make it.
Yep.
I hope people understand that they spend every dollar that they have just to make these things happen.
Yep.
So.
Would you be willing to do it again
Yep.
if we allocated funds?
Yeah, I thought we had a good model. We had a review committee. Ooh, I'm gonna just move this one.
He's a problem. It's a real problem.
We had a total of $375,000, and so again, to only have 9,800 left over.
Yeah.
We'd allocated all but 2,000, but then some festivals did not end up spending all that they said that they were going to spend. But no, I think again the system seemed to work really well. We did an RFP process. We had a 9-person review committee. We handled the contracts and the follow-up, and it seemed fairly straightforward.
And the list is impressive of who you helped.
Yeah, 22 different festivals.
Yeah, amazing.
How is the ARPA money that you received for the signage? How is that going?
We have just executed our contract for that. So we're in the process now of, there's street tree lighting that has been proposed, so we're working with the city electrician. There's up to 8 new gateway signs. So we're just getting those things lined up now that we know what the contract requires as far as vendor agreements. We're now able to move forward a little bit more.
When will they be installed, do you know, for this year, or?
I don't think they would be installed this year. Yeah, just because we'd want to get the designs allocated. So possibly by fall, but I would not commit to that.
Okay.
Do you have, besides the festivals
Yep.
that are aside, in your expenditures, you have various grants are those grants that you support people with? Or is that the money?
Those are to our organization.
Okay.
Yep, so we actually administered the festival fund through the Downtown Syracuse Foundation, which is a totally separate organization. So this budget reflects for the Downtown Committee as an organization, the various grants that we've received.
Okay.
Other questions? Thank you.
Thank you.
Good job.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.